My experience actually started when I attended an event in Singapore where the founders of IPV, Mr. Vinay Bansal and Mr. Mitesh Shah, had given a detailed presentation on startup investing in India, about IPV itself, the history of IPV, the processes they follow, and so on. So I actually, after the event, I registered as a member for a year, and then after a few months, I started making my first investment. See, I think with IPV, what stood out for me is that the structured process they have for right from shortlisting the startups, due diligence, founder calls, investor calls, taking feedback from the investors, and also the subject matter experts, both external and from the investor network, which contribute to the sharing the feedback, evaluation of the startups and everything. So I think the whole process is very structured and transparent, and I think I was quite comfortable with that. So I went ahead with my first set of investments. AIF onboarding process was quite simple. I think the documents required are specified quite clearly, and I think from a user point of view, I think only your depository participant in you have to get a client master list from them and share it with IPV. That's a small follow-up that you need to do. I think apart from that, the documents are quite simple, and the process was quite simple to complete. It was also completed pretty quickly, just before my first investment also. Okay, I think just if it's the first time that you're venturing into angel investing, right? I think first take some time to understand how it works. I think if you have any friends who are members of IPV, speak to them, get a first-hand view of how it is. And I would also suggest that if you attend an in-person event, IPV conducts in-person events all throughout India and overseas as well. I think attending those events is also a very good experience if you're going to be exploring angel investing for the first time. And you start attending the weekly founder calls and investor calls. That will give you an actual insight into the live process, how it takes place. I think one of the important things which you will learn when you first enter into it, right? The asset allocation that you do is quite important. So typically, to start off with, not more than 5% of your investable assets should be allocated. And also, you should keep in mind that the lock-in, the time frame for the startup to mature and go to the next funding round and for the exits to happen can range between 24 months to 60 months. So that's kind of a lock-in period for your funds. So I think that is something that you need to keep in mind as you take decisions. And also, I would suggest that don't try. I mean, if possible, try to allocate your investable funds into angel investing into a couple of startups, in a phased manner. Don't if possible, in just investing in one and waiting to see how it plays out, will take time, and also you will not be diversified. Also, you remember you need to assess your angel investing asset class as a portfolio, and the failure rates do happen in startups. So if you invest in a couple, there could be one or something which doesn't do well. In spite of, but IPV has a very strong funneling process of evaluating a few hundred startups every month, and they are funneled down, and really only the 1% or 2% top 1% even come up for the founder calls and the processes after that. So that is something that you should keep in mind, and review your performance from the angel investing as an asset class as a portfolio, and not only based on individual companies. There will be some companies with very good returns. There will be some with moderate returns. Some maybe just recovering payback, and some may even fail, and a few may even fail. So just keep that in mind as well.